All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think hopefully more people come in, but which I forgot to put my tag on, but Sonia Lang, I'm the co-president of the Rolando Park Community Council. Welcome, everybody. So I wanted to let you know that our Zoom meetings are being recorded and you can access them online, access it online on YouTube, and our meeting minutes are on rolandopark.org website. First, we're going to start out with my dues and membership report here, which we have 32 renewals, okay, 12 new members, and our dues to date or our total revenue $11.78 and 63 cents. Okay, our donation to date $11.78 and 63 cents.
What do we get out of 63-cent membership? I'm sorry, asking for a friend.
And we had $650.63 in donations. So somebody gave 63 cents.
No,
we bought something and that was the change.
All right. Okay, on to our next item. So we're going to start with our community announcements, and we're going to start with Bettina in Redwood Village.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Excuse me. Sorry, I've been battling this cough, so if I start coughing, pardon me now. We don't really have a whole lot. We're still having our sewer upgrade work done. I understand it's coming to an end. It doesn't feel like it, but it is. And I don't know, maybe Roberto can tell us, but we also expect to have the resurfacing done for the rest of Hughes Street to Boren. It's pretty bad. Right there in front of the school, especially. We've got another cleanup coming up, 2 cleanups. One is on for Streamview Drive Dumpster Day. That's on November 8th. So keep that in mind if you have stuff you need to get rid of or you want to help volunteer. And then our last University Avenue cleanup for the year will be on December 6th, and that'll be in Redwood Village. And then tomorrow night at Eastern Area Planning Committee, we've got the Mid-City Plan Update presentation of the final draft. So if you're interested in knowing what the city has planned for our area for the next 20, 30 years in terms of development, it would be great to have you there so you can see firsthand and ask questions and make your comments. And that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Bettina. And so our next community announcements will come from Lynn Edwards for Rolando Park.
And I just want to correct one thing too. The document that they're presenting on tomorrow night is the ideas document.
Yes.
Which will become the first draft of the community plan update in the spring, we think. The thing that's of most concern to us are the 5 concepts for density, where the city would add density in this area. And they're going to add density, that's a given. But it's important to decide where that density will be. And so group meeting in late March. Provide deals. November, I'm sorry. Okay. So first of all, one more time, this Saturday we are having a ribbon cutting because our Pocket Park is now officially the Rolando Park Gateway, College and College Grove. So we will be meeting there at 1 o'clock. We have a few very important people joining us. Our council member, Shawnilo Rivera, will be there. County Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp will be there. She's one of the funders of the Neighborhood Reinvestment Grant that we got. One of 2 grants we got to do this project. And I believe our Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs will also be joining us. She hasn't emailed back if she wants to speak or not, but she will be there. She said she loves to cut a good ribbon, so. So again, always thank you to our volunteers. On the 15th, we did a University Avenue street sweep in Rolando Park from College to Aragon. On the 27th, we did a cleanup here at the school with some of our PTA families. We are weeding the swamp out here, which has a long, sad story of being neglected, then replanted, then neglected again. So we cleaned about 50% of it, and we'll be trying to finish up the second half sometime in mid-November. And then every first Sunday of the month, we have a cleanup volunteer crew that meets down here at the Gateway. This Sunday, we only work for an hour. We just keep it clean, pack everything up. We have so far in 3 months' time made it all the way from College Grove down to Livingston. And we seem to have an honest person who's helping us because somebody's been back there trimming some of the weeds back out of the way. So you can clearly walk down and clean the whole thing down in about 30 minutes, which I did on Friday.
Okay.
So it's a super easy way to get involved.
What time?
7:30. We're early risers on Sunday. But it's just an hour. We always keep it very short. We don't want anyone to get burned out. Just show up. We give you a bag, give you a picker or some tool, and we keep it clean. And I've noticed other people are sort of joining in now. That's the cleanest that area has looked in a couple of years. It looks pretty sweet. I do also want to mention that so far in this year, we've had 51 volunteers show up for our volunteer projects. And those are numbers we haven't seen since pre-pandemic, so it's pretty nice. We do have some opportunities coming up again, as Bettina mentioned. But the first Sunday in November would be another cleanup at the Gateway Project, Streamview Dumpster Day, and we'll be back at it at that slope November 15th. And you can find information. I'm not going to be doing this tonight on slides because I'm less time to do flyers right now. But you can always just go to our website because we do have a section called Community Volunteer Opportunities, and you can always find what we're doing there if you want to just pop in and do it. We keep that part of it going. The PTA is looking for a few volunteers to help them out with trunk or treat. If you can show up, I think Joyce will be there Friday night. I'm going to pop some of these into the chat if people would like to sign up or volunteer. They have a little form. You can also drop off candy at the school office.
Okay. All right. So let's see if we can continue.
All right. So I'm not going to back up. I think we spent 15 minutes on this.
Oh, let's see.
Okay.
We got 7:21. I think we have, I don't know, we have about 2 people representatives. So
All right.
we can just go through it real quick.
Okay. So. Okay.
Can you guys hear us?
I'll go back to the most important one in case you missed this. We're having a ribbon Saturday, and I need lots of people to show up, okay? We'll be meeting at what we used to call the Pocket Park, we're now calling the Gateway, Saturday, 1 o'clock. You'll be home by 2 o'clock, trust me. Thanks to our volunteers. Volunteer opportunities, you can find these on our website. Okay, we have 3 in November. We do not have any other volunteer opportunities this month. We're sort of in between major cleanups and dumpster days right now. The PTA does need volunteers, and I'll drop that in the chat if I can get that done after this. Please take the city's community recreation needs assessment so that we can look at getting some recreation opportunities here in the eastern area. Again, we do not have any south of Colina del Sol. So I'll drop that in the chat. If you're online and you can see this, you can use scan the QR code and go right to it. Otherwise, I'll drop the link in the chat for everyone. And here's what we would like you to add to the question, why aren't you participating, is because I live too far away from where programs are held, and nothing's within walking distance. That's the thing that we need to change for the park department. If we don't respond to this, the city will just think that we're fine in this area, and we're not fine. Okay. On another note, we're in the middle of our fall membership drive. If you haven't paid your dues yet for the year, please pay them. This is less than 50% of people that we've emailed in the last month have renewed so far this year. You can pay it online at our rolandopark.org, use PayPal. You can also go there and download the membership form and mail that in, or you can pay me here tonight. Any of us will be happy to take your money, okay? But that would help to get this out of the way. In case you didn't see this post, we have our own merchandise store now. You can find the link on our website. And I'll drop this in the chat as well. We partnered with Bonfire. They work with nonprofits. So we get a little percentage of the money. And every t-shirt helps. We're using the proceeds to help fund our special events from here on. We need extra money to fund our movie and the specials that we do. So we do have some samples up here. Michelle just got our order in for us, and I want to thank Michelle, who can't be here tonight because her son is sick, for taking care of getting this store set up for us. And that's all I have. It depends on the ones you order. And shipping.
So I'll take a look at the link. It's some nice t-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Lan. So we're going to go ahead and move on to non-agenda public comments. Anyone, I'll start with online. Anyone online have anything? Voice it up. But we can't hear you, Tom. I guess that's the thing. Huh? We can't hear people. Fine.
Well, she has her mute button.
You guys in person can't hear us online, right? Rats.
I don't think so. I don't think they
Yeah.
can hear us.
Okay.
You're right. Okay, type it.
Here, oh, we're gonna have problems with the presentation. You gotta get this figured out. Huh?
Well, our presentation's online.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we can't hear them?
We can't hear them if can't get this figured out.
Can you hear
Okay,
us?
so while I try to figure that out, anyone here?
I just got this today. There's gonna be free flu vaccines at the Oak Park Library Thursday, October 16th. That'll be this Thursday, from noon to 5 p.m. That's over on 54th Street for the library. I read elsewhere that there's gonna be like up to 200 shots available. So if you want a vaccine, this also says no insurance required. So whether it be you, a neighbor, or someone else, if you want to share that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So any other public comments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
time about back November 2nd, use our, we're in the game house.
Right. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, just, I want to thank you guys for your volunteering. I'm not sure where I'm getting all the information I need from the village, such as, website for Redwood Village that lives, you know, Facebook page, and then you talk about membership, that membership of art versus Redwood Village. And lastly, is you talked about this November 8th, that's on Streamview. How do I get more information?
Are you on Facebook? Okay. Redwood Village does have a Facebook page.
We don't have a website right now. You can sign up on the Rolando Park Community Council, so you'll get notices through your email. If you want to pay the dues, we are a joint group, so you know they support us, we support them. I pay my dues to them. I don't pay my dues to us.
We have, because we're separate, Rolando Park is a nonprofit, Redwood Village is not. But Rolando Park has an associate membership that we offer to people who do not live in or work in Rolando Park. You can be an associate member. You have all the privileges and perks of being a Rolando Park member, except that you cannot vote on in our elections for Rolando Park board members or anything pertaining specifically to Rolando Park. When we do our priority setting meetings in January, we do two separate surveys now, one for Redwood Village, one for Rolando Park. So we are separate entities, but you can be an associate member.
You could also, if you're comfortable, you could give me your email. I'm on the Redwood Beach Community Council with Jennifer and John, who are online. And we personally send out notices about cleanups and other meetings and things like that. So we kind of have a informal email list. Yeah.
I did the associate membership so I could get the information. Very worthwhile.
We participate in the cleanup. If you're not connected, you won't know about it.
You'll see it on Facebook.
Or their website too, right?
Yeah, the Rolando Park website, you'll see it on there. Yeah, you don't have to sign up for the emails. Just pay attention, just make sure you check the Facebook page or the website, the Rolando Park website, since we don't have one right now, Redwood Village. Yeah.
And then November 8th is a dumpster.
Yeah, November 8th is the dumpster day on Streamview Drive. So what that means is excuse me. Got a little rock band going on here. So basically what that means is we put 2 or 3 huge dumpsters out, and we have some volunteers that help load the dumpsters. People come by and drop off their unwanted items, and we just load up those dumpsters and fill them up. So it's an opportunity to get rid of your junk, basically. But it also is our way of reminding people around the area that Streamview Drive is not a dump itself, even though I drove by there yesterday and every single corner was completely full of trash. It was the worst I've ever seen it. It's very aggravating. God, I wish I could catch somebody doing it. I really do. Not that I would hurt them, but I would certainly video and pictures, and then I would call Josh and tell him.
Louder into the
microphone. And I would send the information. But, yeah, so it's kind of a dual thing. That's why we're doing it on Streamview Drive. And then we have our University Avenue cleanups, which are different. 4 times a year, we clean up a section of University Avenue because that's our major gateway. And twice we do it in Rolando Park, and then twice we do it in Redwood Village. So in December, we're doing it in Redwood Village. Yeah.
Months and months ago, there was a coordinated effort where go by your street. Build it up.
Oh, it was a long time ago. Yeah. It's been a long time since the city's done that.
About 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh,
And at first I didn't know about it.
Okay.
Well, it was coordinated by the council person, but I don't have to communicate it. So driving by and making a lot of people ready to help. I want to know what you guys.
not.
District 9's rep. is
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
Here's your man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't have anything planned unless, oh, you do?
What a bit. All good.
Of this month?
I'll get it to her.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about all the technical difficulties. We're gonna see if we can hear you guys through my computer versus through the speaker. Can someone online say something?
Yeah, I mean.
Unmute.
I mean. you-
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me? I don't have a charger, so we're gonna move really quickly through our before my computer goes out. So, thank you. So we're gonna move on to our community representative follow-ups. Real quick before we start moving on to, well, let's do this. And how about we do community with Josh first and then we move to Roberto and then
Okay.
handle that.
Sure.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our community reports. Start with Officer Joshua Cummings.
How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all. So real quick, I'm gonna try to breeze through this list. It's been a little while, right, since I've been here. So starting off with the OVO, have a little flyer here. I could probably set this on the back table. You guys can take a picture. But essentially what it is it's no parking right, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. We have a specific OVO team. It's a sergeant and a couple, 2 to 3 officers that goes out between those hours to basically specifically target OVO. So that means if you have an OVO issue with a motorhome or anything like that, you have to do a get it done. It has to go to that team. You would imagine being one team with one sergeant, that there's a little bit of a backlog, right? And the beaches are the priority. So if you see that issue pop up, please let me know. I can still do the 72-hour notices and I can still make contact and try to get them to move. But if it comes down to an enforcement posture outside of an educational or the 72-hour not working, then it has to go to the OVO team. Basically, they're going to offer education and services first, right? Get them a special place at H barracks. After that, then the refusal vehicle, basically enforcement side of things. From July to September, there's 1,136 oversized vehicle ordinance citations issued, plus 2,995 other citations for violations of posted signs, 72-hour rule, etc. Focus remains on the beach area, which is the most complaints. 245 referrals to the city's safe parking program have been made. So the Bloom settlement, right, was 2024 legal settlement that created new standards for how oversized vehicle parking enforcement is conducted. Safe parking must be available during enforcement. Compassionate approach with focus on connections to services is basically the way they ideally want to go. So again, if you have an OVO, that's the kind of process that we're going through.
Could you give the dimensions on what the city considers OVO?
Motorhome, just think motorhome.
That was like a
Semi-truck,
20-some
Diesel,
foot.
I don't know the exact length, but a good rule of thumb, right, is your giant box truck, your giant semi truck that's
Right.
parking in a residential neighborhood, motor homes, things like that, big fifth wheels, those are
What
OVOs.
about cement?
I towed the cement mixer.
You're back.
We have another one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk after this. All right, so fireworks, going on to that subject, and I'm trying to move through this as quick as I can. The fireworks is a hot topic right now, not just with, this side, but also in the 30s and City Heights. We do have a team. Terry from Fox Canyon, Janet is on that team as well. There's a few others that have spearheaded that approach doing community outreach. Basically with fireworks, the hardest part to deal with fireworks, in order for us to take enforcement action, we really need to actually enforce it. We have to basically pull up to the guy's driveway, see him lighting the firework in front of him. Otherwise, we can't identify who's doing it, right? That's the biggest problem. However, we had a chronic house off of Jeff Street that was lighting off lots of fireworks. We had a chronic area that was identified by the group at RC Flyers Park and along with Toys Park. And they were able to collect some information. They forwarded it all to us. We got the Southeast had to handle that because it was in their division. It took a little prying, but they did it, and they were able to make some sort of enforcement contact Friday night, according to what Janet was saying, and according to Southeast. And so we're going to see where that goes. However, what really, really helps us is if we have a singled out, narrowed down location where we can try to specifically target the activity. We may not be able to prove it, but what I found is by making contact and actually going out and educating, saying, hey, like, these are the consequences. This is what can and can't, or, will happen if you continue this. It tends to shut it down. What we can't do is just drive around the city and fly drones to target every single firework that's getting lit off. We just don't have the resources or manpower to do that. So we are working on some firework stuff. Dog Society has been under new ownership. They're taking really good ownership of it, in my opinion. They have cameras up, they have increased the fencing, they're out there doing stuff, so that looks great. Xena Canyon, there is a unknown subject trying to reoccupy Xena Canyon. I was out there yesterday. It was an abandoned encampment. It did no one was there. So I went back tonight. I did not see anybody there. So that's a good thing. As of some recent activity, there was an OD at the 7-Eleven yesterday. Unfortunately, he went to the hospital, that's fortunately, but he is with soap mat. I was gonna offer him soap mat services and try to get him connected. He's already a client at soap mat. He has been for about a month. So it's a work in progress. He really wants help. And the feedback I got from him was the fentanyl is just so strong and so like that addiction vice, right, is so hard to deal with that even with soap mat, it's really difficult to beat. There has been a lot of fentanyl lately. There's been a lot of ODs and stuff like that. So just be careful with that kind of stuff as a community in general. HTTF activity along El Cajon Boulevard has increased. Our human trafficking task force essentially shut down some Airbnbs that were operating as brothels down in the Dalbergia, like say central area, right on the border of National City. With the shutdown of these brothels comes, they need a new home and they need a place to live. So they started trying to come this way. I have worked in operation as recently as last week with Vice, and we did take 2 people into custody for that. And we are working to continue to combat that activity and identifying the people that are coming from that brothel that shut down and identify all those subjects and working to shut that down. Today at Rock Place, we did remove an RV, and I'm working on getting a significant amount of trash removed. I don't know if anyone cuts through rock right there, but nonetheless, that's a work in progress. The trash should be taken out tomorrow. Vehicle abatement did tow giant vehicle, that was it. The shopping center near Party House Liquor, it's looking great. I actually tried to go, I patrolled it yesterday. I was here on overtime. There was a couple guys back there because it was the weekend and they weren't used to me being around and they were surprised to see me, just like I was surprised to be at work. They scurried away really quick. They did not want any resources, but today I went to do the same thing and the poll gates were locked. So I think that's a good thing. I think it'll curb some activity. It's looking really good though. I'm really content with where that's at. The fentanyl ODs already covered that. Encampment at Choice Creek. We did discover an encampment right at Salta and Choice Creek on the west side. If you're familiar with that area, about 2 blocks after the dead end, there's an encampment that has been reported. Hopefully it gets abated soon. If anyone was wondering what all the police activity was near the church, right here between Meridian and College Grove, about 2 weeks ago, it was a domestic violence suspect, which ended up me being in a foot pursuit with. And broke a fence at the church, unfortunately, taking this kid into custody for a couple felonies that he had committed. So that's what that was about. Isolated incident. The church was provided small claims, or the city claims hotline number. Hopefully they got their fence taken care of. It wasn't too bad. That was along the frontage road. And then lastly, I will say, before I open up for some questions, is please bear with us. Staffing right now is extremely difficult. I can tell you that I was here on overtime yesterday. And when I got in, the patrol sergeants I was like, where do you guys need me? Where are you guys the shortest? They're like, we need you across the whole division because we have 4 officers working the entire division, meaning North Park all the way to La Mesa. 4 available police officers. Keep in mind a critical incident with some sort of barricaded suspect, shooting, stabbing, any felony contact, stolen car, all those things, right? That takes a minimum of 6. In all reality, you need a contact team, you need non-lethal and a supervisor and all these things, right? So with 4 officers, and we did bring in 2 on overtime, which got us to 6 at about 11 o'clock to get them to second watch, which was a 2. But still, nonetheless, there was probably 15 calls holding most of that day. I went to 14 of them during my overtime shift. So bear with us. The staffing right now is difficult. We have squads that are down to 2 officers. And a patrol team should be 4 because that is the single patrol team, say for the A20 service area from Euclid to La Mesa, right? El Cajon all the way down south of University to College Grove in some places. You need at least 4 officers. And we have some squads that are down to 2 and 3. So we kind of saw this coming. We have had some contingency planning, but it's in our academy that's in right now is actually on the larger side, finally. But recruitment is still hard. Retention is still hard. We have a lot of senior officers that are retiring this year. So it's making things difficult. So I'm just saying, please bear with us. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of calls, right? There's all those things. And that's not every day that there's only 2 cops working in the 20s. There's about between 2 and 3 officers on maybe 3 or 4 squads at most. We have a lot more than that right here. So that is on selective days. I just want you guys to understand like what we're up against, what we're dealing with. And then obviously calls for service are priority 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So depending on what you're calling about, you're that priority 4, that priority 3, it could take a while right, for us to get to that. Because the officers are always gonna divert to that one or 0, 1, and 2. So please keep that in mind. Does anyone have any questions
I'm
on?
just curious about how is it like north of Euclid, including San Diego Stakes, there's a lot of activity. When my son was coming home, there were talks and stuff, because that's their San Diego State. Like how they're staffing up there.
That is Eastern Division. I would have to look into that, but they also are supplemented with SCSU, like
SCSU.
campus police.
And he was
So
coming home from work and then we're just lots of, but it
was that
was,
today?
that was like last weekend, I
Oh,
think.
last weekend.
And just kids running across the street. I think it was like alcohol, probably related, not party related, but
Yeah.
he was coming home and it was just like,
Yeah, the college area is very busy.
Yeah.
I'd have to double look into what their staffing is, because that's a whole different division, and I'm not privy to that. I'd have to really look into that to know that. I can tell you, like, school police, for example, school police used to have 60 police officers. They're down to 16. They have a chief and 16 police officers for all San Diego Unified, and that's school police. So that's not SDSU. I'm talking about actual
Yeah.
Crawford, right?
Yeah.
Hoover, Horseman, all those. So, they're down to 16 and they were at 60.
Is that
So,
budget
Yes.
for them? Yeah.
Yes, budget.
we
And that,
still have ours.
and the problem is with that, right, is the less available they are,
Yeah.
the more available we need to be,
Yeah.
which, because they're gonna have things that happen and we're gonna need to be there. Yeah, any other questions? Now we gotta get moving on. We have a laptop that's gonna die, everything else.
We can, you'll be around after.
Yes, I will stay.
Anybody
I'll
in
ask you after.
person, can you talk to Josh afterwards? Is there anybody online?
Oh, there was-
who has a question? But hold on, I want to get you guys afterwards, because the online people will be going to ask a question. Anybody online have a question for Josh before we finish?
Some thank yous for Josh.
I don't have
And then-
a question. I just want to say thank you for all the hard work you do.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Check it with them after so far. Technical difficulty. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're gonna move on to Roberto Mary.
We talk fast, very, I'm gonna be fast, I'm gonna be fast. Fast.
We all say that.
Good evening, everyone. Roberto Marin, Director of Community Empowerment for Councilmember Elo Rivera's office. I'll start off with my to-do list that I've been graciously assigned. So the goats, so that's been a conversation. SDG&E on Friday. It was kind of a mixed bag, so just so that y'all know, for the goat purposes, SDG&E said the biggest issue that they are finding right now is that it's not city property, as we all know, it's school property, so I suggested to them to connect with the Unified School District. They said that they were able to maybe work something out with them to provide the goats. And just for a reference for everyone, there's specific criteria that SDG&E has been assigned to by the contractor for the goats to be utilized. One of them being it has to be under transmission lines or light poles. I know Zenith Canyon doesn't commit in the full, but I did reference to them that it is such a large mass of kind of brush that they should still try to find an innovative way to figure that out. So that is on that end, and they do have a one pager on wildfire prevention and on like the goats criteria, so they all can share with neighbors. I don't have that tonight because they were off. I forgot that they were off tonight. They'll send that to me and I'll send that over to the community. Number two is, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Number two is our mural. So I know this Rolando Park asked for a mural. I put that idea out there last meeting. So the only thing I would need to do is it could be next year at some point. But I need a space that could be identified and that the property owner agrees for us to paint a mural. So I know there's a couple of options here in Rolando Park, but I'll let the group decide and workshop that. I would recommend a mural where there's a hard hit area of graffiti, just so that folks are less inclined to do that.
Right.
And it's a great addition to the community.
Yes, for sure.
So those are my to-do updates, then I'll get into the general ones. The first one being, we'll switch it up to Redwood Village updates. So if you find me after, I can give you my contact information and I send out emails from time to time. Jennifer sent me a question about the repaving relating to the sewer project. And this one is particularly for Gale Street Let me just make sure that I have the correct information here for y'all. So it's for Gale Street and other areas with near that scope. They did confirm, yes, the funding has been allocated for this portion. Paving is projected to begin in early summer of 2026. So they're gonna finish construction in spring of 2026, and then they'll start the repaving in the summer of 2026. So so just so y'all know, y'all are lucky because a lot of other projects, they're doing the same work and they don't have dedicated funding for repaving. So, yeah, so happy that that was able to be taken care of. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up is University Avenue. They will be doing a presentation on it, so please please pay attention and please make sure you ask questions to them if they are taking time out of their day to be here as well. And then, as Officer Cummings mentioned, we've been having a lot of issues just in general with graffiti and stuff. So our idea next year to do Park Beautification Day throughout District 9. Right now we have identified sites in City Heights and also Normal Heights. If this group is interested in maybe using the joint field as an option, we do have a large list of volunteers. We have 200 signed up so far. So if there's anything like that, supplies, mulch, etc., that you all need, please let me know. Give me a list of what you all need for that, and we can make that happen as well. And then the last update I have is the due process and safety ordinance. So if y'all don't know about it, it's this first of its kind in the nation policy that strengthens constitutional protections for all people and creates a regional model for safety, accountability, and dignity in the face of unauthorized federal enforcement, hence ICE and Border Patrol. Federal and out-of-state agents must have a warrant to enter non-public spaces and access to information. City contractors and lessees are covered by this ordinance, and the city and its partners cannot collect or share protected personal information, health history, religion, political views, etc., to any sort of law enforcement agency out of state seeking to seek retribution for those folks. And lastly, the public education would be know your rights signs in multiple languages will be posted across the city and city funded properties. If you are interested, I have more in my binder. But we need everyone to show up Monday at 1 p.m. We have a press conference. I invite you all to come. The council member will be speaking along with the council president, Councilmember Woodburn. So we need as many folks, especially during this time. So I will stop there. I'm trying to keep it short,
Okay.
but if any.
Please check real quick. Anybody online have any questions for Roberto? Okay, no? We'll take one question for Roberto in the audience. Anybody?
Oh, my.
All right.
She's saying later.
Okay,
Okay.
great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I want to
Thank you.
get the.
Thank you both. Sorry about that. Rushed through that, but we want to get to our presentation. So today we're going to have Sandag presentation on the University Avenue Bikeway, right? And we have Ali Finn, we have Omar, I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name. Altayi, and we have, I know there's Chris. Chris also. Oh, and the top there. All right, so give us a test. Can we hear you?
Hi, this is Chris. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right, can you guys hear good enough here? Okay, so we're gonna have to be really quiet and listen to him. Because I can't get the speaker any higher.
Great. Then, thank you very much, and I'll try to speak loudly and clearly. Is that loud enough?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So Chris Carteret, let me share my screen. Let's see, is that working for you all?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm a senior regional planner at Sandag, and I've been working on bike projects for many years now, and I'm really pleased to be here tonight to tell you all about construction of University Bikeway getting underway. Let me just make sure my slides are now changing. Yay. Sorry. Yeah, so just quickly though, Sandag is the regional transportation planning agency. We plan our transportation system, highways, public transit, bike projects, port of entry. We built the 11 miles of Blue Line from Old Town to UC San Diego, and numerous bikeways and other things throughout the region. So a brief overview of the area and the project. So we've got University Bikeway shown in orange over on the right of the screen, and then you can see the completed Mead Bikeway, Landis Bikeway, and Georgia Street Bikeway. These are all part of the North Park Mid-City kind of like network of projects that sort of started out all as one effort and then became several. We've also got Orange Avenue Bikeway out to bid right now, looking for a successful contractor to win that in the public contracting process. We've got Central Avenue Bikeway coming down from Adams to Landis, that's following not too far behind. So we're really pleased to be delivering these projects to the community. So real quick overview of the project's history is that, more than like literally 13 years ago, we started working on the North Park Mid-City network, and then kind of broke it out into separate projects. And in 2018, started design in earnest on University Bikeway. And through all the trials and tribulations of developing an extensive capital project like this, we're finally here today heralding its construction. And this is just kind of a quick overview of some of the local meetings that we attended. I feel like I've been to this group since 2022, but maybe the last 3 years just went by really quickly. So in any event, so, more specifically, the project starts up at Orange and Estrella, has a little bit of Bike Boulevard coming down to Estrella and University, and then extends all the way to the La Mesa city limit. And it's got a lot of features throughout that I'll go over as we move through the presentation. So through the outreach process, we heard sort of like 3 basic categories of concerns, and that is wanting all road users to be taken care of and have convenient, safe facilities, and then a lot of other concerns, some subtle, some more obvious, like the condition of the road. And so in delivering the project, we're taking all of those things into account. So one of the things that'll be happening with the project, and this is something that I remember hearing at this meeting, was that the entire street really needs to be taken care of. So while we were finalizing the plans, we reached out to the city and asked them if they would like to integrate a repaving program into our job. And so we included it in the contract, and our contractor is going to do a coordinated effort to essentially repave all of University Avenue from Estrella to 69th, except for some of the places where it's just been paved recently as part of ongoing slate of city, mostly utility projects that you see going on. We'll also be putting in 14 bus islands, and those are set up to allow buses to smoothly stop and allow passengers to board and alight. And also we'll have it so that bikes can just go around behind the bus island and not have to mix with the buses or interfere with the buses. Just something I'll mention is that this representation shows the bus stopped in the middle of the travel lane. All of the places where we have bus islands, there is another lane, so there won't ever be an impediment to traffic flow. As I mentioned, there's buffered or bicycle boulevard for a short stretch on Estrella through that residential street, also bordered by a school. And then parts of the project will have buffered bike lane, and then there will also be a substantial amount of separated bikeway. So here's we've got some renderings that are almost finished. I wish I had more of them ready tonight. And this is just a sample. It shows one of the bus islands, also shows representation of the numerous corner ramps that we're installing as part of the project, including relocation of pedestrian push buttons. And so everything that we're building is ADA compliant, and we really put a lot of effort into working with the city's ADA coordinator and specialist and our engineer to get everything just right. There will be landscaping included. This is some representations of the ground cover that will go in. The project is doing some limited tree planting itself, and those are mostly replacements for trees that need to be removed to change the way medians are laid out. For instance, where we're working on the Choice Triangle, to integrate that with the city's park development plan there. But in regard to trees, we have been, and we heard from the community, and we've been working with the city forester and District 9 to come up with a plan to get as many trees in as possible. And the Sandag design team spent a good chunk of time working with the city forester, helping determine all of the feasible places where trees could go in. And I know there's going to be some work integrating that into the project, and ideally having it all dovetail and be finished at the same time. This is a schematic representation of where the improvements will be located. Lynn did notice, thank you, that it's missing a couple of points. And I did verify that we haven't taken anything out. I mean, I knew right away that we hadn't changed the project to reduce anything. So we just had a couple little bits missing here and there from the diagram. And this should be available in PDF to the group. And so, you should be able to peruse it at your leisure. And also, I'm always open to receiving inquiries. Lynn knows how to get a hold of me. The council district knows how to get a hold of me, and I'm at your disposal. So let's see, we've got, as I mentioned, we've got the many bus islands going in. They're typically at intersections. We're generally setting them up at what's known as the far side location, which is the preference for the bus operators, where they go through the intersection and then stop, as opposed to near side, where the bus stops right at the intersection. And there are a number of safety reasons why that's done, as well as also efficiency in terms of traffic flow. We've got bike signals going in at many places. Leading pedestrian intervals will be built into the signal timing. We've got high visibility crosswalks and shortened crossing distances going in at nearly every intersection that we're touching. We have an extensive roadway striping and signing plan that'll be using all of the best practices for making things work better and be more comfortable and and safe for all roadway users. At 54th, we're doing a fully protected intersection, which separates all the modes and has signalization that works really nicely, and also will sort of promote better visibility of the vulnerable road users, that is, people that are walking and biking, or wheelchairs, or any other mobility devices. It should be noted that this is a part of the city's safety priority network, and so one of the goals of the project is to reduce collisions for all modes, but especially to reduce injuries to people walking, biking, and of course eliminating fatalities is part of the whole Vision Zero goal. That's a nationwide effort to try and just have fewer people suffer from collisions with cars. As I mentioned, at the Choice Triangle, there will be a pretty significant reconfiguration of the way the roadways meet, and that'll also dovetail with a park plan that the city will be implementing, and we will essentially be leading that implementation by putting in some of the curbs and hardscape that'll lay that out. And so throughout the project construction, and once it's finished, traffic engineering and operations people from the city will be working on keeping the signalization so that things work as well as possible, and then fine tuning it when the project is done. We will be putting in a transit priority signal at 52nd Street, and that should aid bus lines 710 and 852 to move through that intersection more smoothly. So as far as the timeline goes, here we are in mid-October. Can't believe it. Where did the year go? And we're beginning our pre-construction outreach, going to community groups, and team members will be canvassing University Avenue and with council district staff, and stopping in to visit business owners and making sure we know who they are and they know who we are, and that they know how to get a hold of us so we can work on addressing any concerns that may come up for them during the project. We hope that sometime next month or in December, you'll actually start to see construction out there. As I mentioned, we do have a contractor retained and contracted. It's Griffith Construction, and we're hoping for a really good job with them. And also want to reiterate that they'll be doing the repaving work for the city as part of our project. And so there's just we'll be doing various kinds of flyers, door hangers, e-blasts. Definitely want to encourage people to go to the sandag.org website and find our project. We'll have a QR code at the end that you can use and get signed up for e-blasts for this project and any of our projects that you're interested in. We do expect an approximately 2-year construction timeline, hoping that it doesn't take any longer than that, but that is our goal, is to be done around the holidays in 2027. And yeah, here's some more examples of our materials that we use, including digital. And then another thing I wanted to point out is that there are several city and other utility projects that are lined up in the area. Some are underway, some will be starting soon, and some may follow our project. The majority of them are concentrated from 54th to Estrella, we're in contact with all the city project managers, SDG&E and AT&T project managers, and have quarterly meetings to align our schedules and look at proactive troubleshooting for anything that we think may come up. We are going to initiate the project at the eastern end, i.e. at 69th, to try to have as much of these projects completed by the time we get to 54th Street. So a big coordinated effort, and we'll be in touch with them. And if there are ever any concerns from the community, I certainly don't mind, fielding anything and figuring out who the right person to speak to is. But we wanted to make sure the community is aware that there will be some other work going on out there besides just what our project is doing. And of course, construction brings some detours, some temporary setups, noise, construction workers out there, and some temporary parking restrictions. And so we'll be working really closely with the city, business owners, and community in general to make it as smooth as possible. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to give you that presentation, and I am here at your disposal to speak with you all. And there's the QR code that I mentioned. Also, if you just simply go to sandag.org/university bikeway, you can also get to a spot where you can sign up for email. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Right? So, Bettina?
It was mentioned during the construction, there was gonna be landscaping involved. Who's gonna take care and maintenance of that landscape?
Great question. The landscaping that we are putting in, it is our understanding that it will be taken care of. Well, we worked on developing it with the Parks and Rec department, so it's done to their specs. And I believe that Parks and Rec is responsible for some of it. And then I'm not sure if it's streets or which city department, but some of the areas are supported by gas tax. And so there will be some work supported by that. But my understanding is that it'll be streets and or the transportation division and Parks and Rec. We provide plant establishment and 2 years of maintenance after installation.
Hi, Chris. Along the lines of landscaping, you mentioned some trees. Do you know where the trees will be concentrated?
I didn't hear that really well, but I think that I heard question about where the trees would be planted.
Hold on just a second. You can speak for yourself.
Oh, sorry. I was asking about the trees that you mentioned and wondering if you have an idea at this time where those trees will be planted.
Yeah, that remains to be determined. What I did with my design team was to work with the city forester, looking at all of the places where it was feasible to plant trees, taking into account things like site distance, driveways, other environmental factors. And then we developed a set of conceptual plans that we gave to the city forester that provides a number of opportunities throughout the corridor for tree planting, but that's something that they're going to work on to determine. So at this point, I don't know, but that's kind of the background for you.
Don?
Yeah, thank you. My question is there available somewhere that we can see a plan view of the actual drawings for the project east of 54th Street, you know, since that's our neighborhoods here. But I'd like to, you know, what this presentation has, there are a lot of, you know, kind of indicators of where things are going to happen, but it would be nice to be able to see exactly like a plan view of what the thing's going to look like finished. Is that available somewhere?
We typically don't post the plans as a whole. So no, but I can certainly work with you to provide that to you, or we could have a meeting together and walk through them together, something like that. So would you reach out to me and I'll assist you with that, please?
Sure. Yeah, we had some questions, and you know, and there's an icon that says like a number one, and this is what a number one looks like, and you know,
Sure.
page forward and page back. You really never get a feeling of what things are, especially you know, the changes to the actual lanes themselves and what the you know, where the curbs are going to be, where the bike lanes are going to be.
Right. Are you interested in like the actual construction plans or more of like a schematic?
Schematic. Yeah, I don't need
Okay.
the I don't need
Yeah.
a set of
Yeah.
the drawings.
I've found that the striping plan and that the sign placement plan can do a really good job at helping you visualize what it's going to look like and where the lanes are going to be and that sort of thing. So
Perfect.
yeah, let's work together and I'll get you set up and with something that you can share.
Okay. And then is this will Lynn have your or Sonia have your contact info?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, great.
And you can also email that gobyBike@sandag.org
Okay.
email. That's a really good one to use, and that goes to the whole team. And
Yeah, or even, sorry, just to cut in. Sorry, I'm here for outreach purposes. I'm Allie. I'm our outreach lead for this project. John, if you want to just drop your email in the chat, let's cut out the middleman and we can follow up with you after.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Thanks.
brilliant. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go Roberto next, because he was waiting.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for the presentation. Sandak has been doing amazing work with our office, trying to work
Thank you.
to plan this. Want to mention that we did meet with them last week, discuss the plans about what that would look like. And lastly, we emphasized the need to make sure that we limit the impact on our small businesses, specifically here in Rolando Park and with the village, given the fact that City Heights did not have a great experience. I know it's a different project, but we are taking a more proactive approach with Sandag and trying to make sure that we can work with them to best make sure that those folks don't feel the impacts, but also have the correct signage, limited, you know, fencing, etc. So we'll be working with them to canvass the area together. So I do want to just say thank you for that. They've been great partners with them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I had a question in regards to the overall, the bike lane. As most of the taxpayers won't be using it, and we observe the very, very, very limited use of them, if at all. Have there been any traffic studies done, so maybe we could stop paying for them, since we all see that it's not really working? I'm just interested in traffic studies in terms of the usage of the lane.
Yeah, well, I think that the most helpful thing that I can tell you is that we do before studies and after studies of our projects, and we always find that the usage increases significantly afterward. And the other thing that I would want to mention is that we are working on a network, and as the network becomes more complete, you have more people that are able to get from point A to point B comfortably. So my hope is that when it's all done, you'll see use that you feel justifies the expense.
I'll also say, I just had another comment on that front. I will say there's a certain portion of transportation money that's set aside for specific types of projects. And so, there's a lot of careful consideration that goes into prioritizing certain bikeways, based on, what's going to improve safety in certain areas, what's going to connect folks to schools, to job centers, who don't have access to a vehicle. And so there's a lot of things that go into these decisions and a lot of considerations in terms of improving the roadway for all users and not just folks using the bikeway as well. So even though, a lot of these bikeway funds can't be used for other things, as we're improving the bikeway, it's not just a bikeway, as you guys could see from the presentation. It's something that'll help improve the roadway for everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ali. I really appreciate being teamed up with you. And I think the other thing that reminds me to mention is that the majority of the funding, I mean, like 90% of it is specific to bikeways and transit improvement. But at the same time, it goes toward fixing a lot of things for cars, and it also gave us the opportunity for the city to team up with us and contribute a substantial amount of money specifically for paving for people driving. So I think it's a really well bundled project, and the majority of it is paid for by funding that is not usable for cars anyway. So thank you.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Yeah, yeah, hi. I just hope that by the end of the project that there are enough trees along the bikeway to make our University Avenue look as wonderful as your artist renderings.
Me too.
Because I really think I've been riding my bike for a long time, and I'm also a pedestrian. And trees are going to make a whole lot of difference whether or not people want to be, you go ahead and ride a bike where they'll have enough space between shade to stop if they need a break to get out of the sun. So, I just want our neighborhood to look as beautiful as those artist renderings. That's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Question, for the plans for this portion of University Avenue, was there an element of it of what we do during a mass evacuation after there's been the change to the roadways that will still be able to leave from the area? Is that a component of the evaluation that Sandag has done when they do these projects?
I don't think so. I think
I didn't think so either, because
Yeah.
in many cases, we've gone down to one lane in many areas.
Right.
And with the concern of, wild type fires going into cities from our canyons and other things, it's just something to put out there that we need to ensure the safety of people, when the situation comes. And it might not just be fire, it could be some other reason that we all need to leave mass exodus. So the other thing is, how many parking spaces do we lose with this activity?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are 297 spaces today, and over 2.8 miles when the project is done. There's a loss of 20 for a total of 274.
Right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Lynn?
I'll do it. Chris, that John Hogan and I are part of a subcommittee from the Eastern area who have lobbied very hard for the last 3 years to try and get trees on University east of College. And I think what Audrey was alluding to is that's the one area where it doesn't look like we would see any trees at all. Is that right? I can go home with the angry.
Yeah, I do know from our research that that's, for whatever reason, that's a trickier area to plant, and I don't know if it has to do with the configuration of parkways or how things are laid out. But I know that the council district is committed to helping to the extent they can, and working with the city forester to do some tree planting, and I hope that it ends up working out in a way that you're happy with.
So yeah, also, I'm glad to hear that you will be working with our District 9 office to notify all of our businesses. I know that Bill from that was online tonight, Region Pharmacy. We have a lot of small businesses who don't know yet about this project, and we want to make sure we get the word out. But also, is this an opportunity where we could talk with the business owners at the same time to get bike racks installed in this area?
I think that there's a program where if a business wants bike racks, I believe they can reach out to the city and get them put in upon request, and some analysis of the spot where they want them to be. I'm not positive about the status of that program, and I wish I could say that we have a ton of bike racks coming with this project, but we don't.
Yeah, and I don't, and I think that's a great opportunity. And if D9 wants to share info about that and we can bring that along, I think that's a good opportunity if there is any ability to share information about that while we're out there.
Thanks, Ellie. Yeah, I think it's a great time to look at that.
Any other questions online? Any other questions? Just one comment to share. The bicycle lanes on Home Avenue, I don't know direction wise, Home Avenue, Euclid. There's a park, there's a condo complex, and then the Navy housing. After the bicycle lanes went in there, the accidents occurring to the cars that were further into the driving lane have been rather substantial. I feel sorry for those people who got their cars destroyed because people didn't realize what the alignment was going to be at that location. So I just share that as an example of an unintended consequence.
Thank you.
Are the bike lanes going to be traveling one direction now?
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The bike, yeah. The bike lane on each side line. So one thing I wanted to say, because I've been pro bikeways and for like 12 years now since we first worked on it. That has to do with the connectivity to some of the other projects that I worked on or involved with, like with Choice Creek Coalition, where we are looking at the Oak Park Trail that would extend all the way where someone who's on the University Bikeway would basically just drop down and get on the Oak Park Trail and go all the way down to Federal Boulevard. I know one of the CIP requests that also our planning group put forward is to try and get a protected bike lane on 54. So if you are on the University Bikeway and you can get into a protected bike lane, you can get to Troyes Lake, you get to the new Oak Park Library very safely by car. So getting this completed opens up some connectivity to other things that are going on in our communities, and that's a good thing. Thanks.
Well, indeed, thank you so much. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all tonight.
And you get to do it again tomorrow.
I do, as a
We'll
matter
see
of
you
fact.
tomorrow. Hopefully our audio will be much better. We're sorry about that tonight.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, I thank you for coming, everyone, and we will see you next month. What's up?
Hey, so then you're getting an update on the modernization project that's starting here on the park.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Lydia, we're going to pack up very quickly now. Thank you.
So you can get home, yes. All right, thank you, everybody, for your patience. Well, you know what, when I was in my mid-20s, I had to pay extra tax. I can say helps out with program manager, because I can say my job, so, you know, doing all this. Organized meetings and all that. Right, so they're briefing you. So I.